Hello, everybody. If someone had asked me years ago whether I would be sitting here and sharing my story, I would have probably smiled and said, "Hey, no." Because I wasn't the loudest person in the room, I wasn't the one who always had the answers. I was simply someone who believed that if I learned something new every day and worked hard, I would eventually reap the rewards. Okay. My name is Krithika, and this is my story. Growing up, one of the common thing what I learned is success doesn't happen overnight because every family had their own struggles, and I was no different, and mine was no different. I wasn't born with extraordinary opportunities. And like many women, I thought education, discipline, perseverance were keys for building a better future. So, as I entered the professional world, I quickly realized that knowledge alone wasn't enough. Every new role brought new expectations, every challenges pushed me outside my comfort zone. There were times when I questioned myself. There were projects that didn't go as planned. There were moments when I wondered whether I was capable enough. But every challenge taught me something valuable. So instead of letting my setbacks define me, I choose to let them develop me. So over the years, I built my career step by step. I kept learning, asking questions, earning certifications, and taking on responsibilities that helped me grow, not just professionally but personally too. Eventually, I found my passion in digital transformation, process excellence, and to be more specific, in financial crime compliance. So many people think financial crime is just about regulations and technology. For me, it was about protecting people, business, and communities. Uh, and I can stop money laundering totally. I thought I can make a difference in the world. So that purpose became my motivation too. As technology evolved, I became fascinated by the possibilities of artificial intelligence. Instead of asking how AI can replace people, I asked how I can help people by using AI. So, those questions inspired me to explore new ideas. I began researching emerging technologies, then writing about financial crime preventions, sharing what I learned in a public forum, and one of the proudest moment of my journey was publishing my research so that others could learn from it. Later, I took another step by becoming a published author and sharing my thoughts through Kindle book. Writing a book wasn't just about publishing something with my name on it. Definitely no. It was about contributing to a conversation that matters. Okay, helping professionals think differently about future, about innovation, etc. So beyond writing, I also started working on a AI driven and solution that could make compliance more efficient, explainable, practical. So me being very very new to this world, world of AI, because let's say I'm a 90s kids. Okay. So AI was something to look at, something to learn, something what I felt could help the other people as well. So I started my journey with the with an idea of giving more or doing more good to the public as much as I can. Okay, so there were a lot of things, before. If I could just stop here or just pause here and just take you a bit back of how I came to this position, I would like to share a very small story about how I came this far. Okay, so in the year 2004, okay, I was doing my first job in Bangalore, and my first job was calling, and it was to sell a credit protection cards. And trust me, I'm not really a very good salesperson, but uh, I did observe other departments than my own department. Okay, I did started observing how did the quality perform, and what did they do, how did they give feedbacks, etc. And that's the first step that I took into getting into quality profession. Okay, so I was so inclined, I was so impressed with how they were doing the job, and I really liked quality from that day. And then I got my break into quality in another company called CSS Cybernet slash support, where I worked as a quality voice coach, quality reviewer, etc. And from there, uh, there were a few certifications that I had to do in order to climb up the ladder into a different path of quality. So I did those, and I never looked back after that. My journey continued to go in the area of green belt, black belt, Six Sigma, and I worked with different companies like TCS, DHL, Access Healthcare, etc. And my crucial point in my career, which I never expected, and of course, everything comes as a shock sometimes to people, right? So I had the very bad time, or probably the worst time ever, because I had to prove myself at a corporate level, at a leadership level, and at my personal life, or in my personal life, I had something going on very serious. Okay, my father was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and as you know, there are no medicines, and still not, they've not invented one. Okay, and that kind of disease is more like a neuro disorder disease. Okay, because it will kill the dopamine, and probably you will need somebody to take care of you for the rest of the life. Okay, uh, and your motor nerves or the cells, they don't work. Okay, so you'll be wheelchair dependent, a lot of things, a lot of challenges people tend to face when they are affected by that disease. It's a neurodegenerative disease. So I didn't have much of an awareness of Parkinson's disease when my dad had it. I just thought it was another common disease like anything. But one thing I understood was his disease was progressing day by day, and it was in stage 4, and he really need people. And one of the worst thing which I didn't expect was the mood disorders that they get through that disease. And whichever caregiver I keep for my father, he used to beat them up. He used to call them with names. He had a lot of disciplinary and behavioral issues. Well, he was not like that, but the disease made him like that. And on the other side, I have to balance my work, and I was growing in my career. Okay, I've completed like 50 plus projects in my current company, TP, and they were expecting more deliverables from me. They were looking at me at a very high role. Okay, so there was a time where I have to balance both sides of the world, my personal world, my professional world. And initially it was way too difficult for me, because each time the caregiver went, I have to take care of my father. And one other thing was, those were times of COVID. Okay, so we have to work from home, and I think that was the only benefit I had. Okay, because I got to work from home, so I was able to care for my father. uh, I can, I have to give him food, change his diapers, change his clothes, etc. There's a lot of things. Change his bed covers, and then sit on to my workplace, and workplace in the sense in my house, where I work with the laptops, do some work there, attend meetings. Then I had to cook a meal for my husband, my kids, my mother. uh, Everything was coming to me at all at once. Okay, so I was not initially, I was not in the state of agreeing to everything. It was creating a lot of stress. I didn't know which one to look at which time. Do I need to cook first for my kids? Do I need to take care of my father? Do I need to do my office work? So I was caught between all these three things. But then I calmed myself, and I was very confident that I can handle stuff. Okay. I started putting a plan to myself. I said, okay, I will start my day at 8 a.m. I will do some of my office work. Then the caregiver comes from 8 to 8 in the night. I was doing some cooking, helping my mother, etc. Then after 8, I used to go to my father's place. I used to give him food, change his diaper, come back. Then I used to give dinner to my kids, my husband. And then I used to sit on a calls, and I used to have calls till 2 a.m. Again, the day starts at 8 a.m. So for quite some time, my days were going on like this. I never saw the light of the day. And then one fine day, I was thinking how to manage all of this. Whatever I'm doing, I needed enough sleep, which I was not getting, which impacted everything. It impacted my performance, it was impacting everything. And then I decided, how do I manage stuff? Okay. So I don't want to do overtime, but I really need to be efficient enough to handle the work. So that's when, I started doing things a smart way. I was thinking, I started prioritizing things, and I was thinking, by prioritizing your things, you can actually reduce half the work that you're doing in a day. And I learned it while I was doing this exercise. And by 2024, 2025, I was an expert at managing chaos at home, at office, around me. Okay. And 2026, the birth of AI, or the rebirth of AI, or the awareness of AI, it gave quite a lot of butterflies to everybody, right? Somewhere butterflies in the stomach, we say, right? Everybody was kind of scared, feared. So I want to take a dig at it. I want to see, what do we have in AI? Am I good enough to handle AI? So I started learning AI. I went to workshops, I went to boot camps, and then there were long nights. I used to stay awake, work on this AI, see what I can do. And the result of it, made me create a platform for AML, the financial crime platform. I created a platform, I designed the entire website. I wrote few white papers for Elsevier Publishing, and then I wrote a book, and I got to publish it in Kindle all this time. God's grace. And I also invented something new. Okay, I've got currently I have a provisional patent for it. Very soon I'll be getting the patent for it as well. So I can't wait to get it. And all these things were actually only surprising me and shocking me, because while I was doing it, I never realized that these were some big hurdles that I have to face in my life. I mean, these were some big achievements. I didn't realize it at all. But when I go far and far away, and when I just turn back, and when I look at it, all of this at once, I was like, I was incredibly happy about myself. I was very happy that I was able to do everything. I was able to manage the stress, I was able to manage the work, manage the family. I was able to concentrate on the passion that I had for something, the goal that I actually have, and etc. I was very, very happy. And I just found, just one thing which made me going is I never gave up at any of the point. I never said, what is this life? It's boring, let's not live it. No. I never sat back, and not for once did I even think that I should give up. I took everything as a challenge and I worked on it. And how I was able to take that as a challenge was the confidence that I had in myself. I always believed in myself. I always was confident. I always used to think, hey, you can do it. Anybody can do it. If anybody can do it, you can do it. So, one thing what I would like to say to everybody is, when life puts you back at many struggles, okay, when everything you think, it's is not happening as per your likes, do not give up. Okay, do not give up. Stay confident, stand up. Even if you fall down, stand up, walk, start walking. Walk till you see the light, walk till you achieve things. Okay. And I would also like to personally thank Herky for making all the women share their amazing stories. I mean, it's a very good forum, and I really would like to uh, say thank you for all the other ladies out there who is making a progress in every day in their careers. So, people, just keep believing in yourself, keep walking. That's all I would want to say today. Have a great day, all. Thank you.